there's a new series out called Seeking Brother Husband. Now, I think that for the most part, this, TLC is kind of running the gutter in a lot of the programming that they have coming out in a lot of their programs. Now, with this Seeking Brother Husband thing, one of the issues that stuck out to me is just the idea that this particular show is, even though it has a companion show, Seeking Sister Wives, it really points out the base and banal nature of a lot of these shows. When Rubber Meets the Road, the show is essentially about a bunch of women who want to sleep with a whole lot of guys. It has nothing to do with you increasing or perfecting your family, nothing about growing your family familial connections. It's about you going out catching some. And that is one of the things that have always been kind of pointed at and said about the men who are involved in these relationships. Oh, the guys go out and get multiple wives and they doing this, and they want to have a bunch of relations with a bunch of women, and the women and the guys in these relationships will always come back and say, oh no, it has nothing to do with the sex. It's all about the relationships and growing the family first. And the reality of it is that that's exactly what it's about. The only difference is these women on this particular show are more straightforward with it. They flat out will tell the guys that they're with that they want to date multiple people and have multiple experiences, so on and so forth. They're very direct with it. There's one girl in particular that I wanted to highlight because I think she is the quintessential version of what's going on this show. And there's a lot of things that she says during the course of her time on the show that just doesn't make sense for anybody trying to have any type of actual relationship, whether it's poly or monogamous, whatever the case may be. It doesn't make sense. And part of it, the reason why it doesn't make sense is because she has no respect for the guy that she's married to. She doesn't respect her husband. And I can see in their relationship that he's not the person that she wants to be with. He's a placeholder. He's somebody who is just there that she could get, and he's going to be there, and she can still go out and do whatever she wants, and when she comes home, he'll be there. And that's the guy that she's taking advantage of. And when I'm watching her and I listen to her, I kind of giggle and I laugh at the guy.
It's kind of more just like a friends with benefits thing.
Yeah, which is fine. The goal is not friends with benefits, but that could happen.
No, we'll close the door on that. I don't feel good about that. She's going to do what she want to do anyway, because at the end of the day, she knows that you're still going to be sitting there. And that's one of the things that you have to start doing if you're in these types of relationships, because I'm not trying to, what they call hoe shame or slut shame or whatever. I'm not trying to do that. And you can do whatever you want. I'm not here to judge anybody's actions or their conduct or how they conduct themselves or they conduct their relationships. How you conduct your relationship is how you conduct your relationship. However, I do take issue with people who are pretending to be one thing when there's something else. If you're a guy who wants to have multiple partners, I take issue with the idea that you're going to hold yourself out as a monogamous or a person who wants to appreciate the sanctity of monogamous singular marriage, and you want to go out and sleep with everything under the sun. I take issue with that. I take issue with the idea that if you're a woman who says that you're somehow expressing your freedom and independence, but when you got married, you didn't marry this person and say, I want to be free and independent, and I want to have a revolving door in my bedroom. You married these people with the initial experience of saying, I want to be monogamous and I want to be just with you. Then you change the rules up. Now, what's my opinion on changing the rules? You have absolute freedom to change the rules. It's your relationship. If you start one way and you want to end another way, you have every right to go to the person and say, hey, this isn't working for me. I'd like to try something different. But at the same time, the person that you're with has to have the self-awareness to recognize whether they can be involved with this type of relationship or not. They have to be able to say, this won't work for me. I can't do this. Not everybody can do this. Not everybody can drop their wives off to their wife's boyfriend house. Or, go out to the movies while their boyfriends and their, boyfriend or girlfriends and they getting their back blowed out. Not everybody can do that. And that's okay. because it's not for everybody. And I think that that's one of the strains of a lot of the things that we see on TLC, is that they present people who are wholly unprepared to be in the type of relationships that they're presenting that they are in and that they conduct. They're wholly unprepared for it, and they do a poor job of representing people who can successfully navigate these types of relationships. Because most of the people that they get, whether it's, seeking brother husband or seeking sister wives, are not, when it's potentially multiple wives, the women 9 times out of 10 are in no way prepared for their husband to actually go out and start dating people. They're good with the conversation, they're good with the theory and the talking points, but when it actually comes time for their husband to pack his bag and say, hey, sweetie, I'm going out on a date and I won't be back till Thursday, all of a sudden the wife is in there cutting up the curtains, cutting his tongues out all his shoes and splitting down the middle of his suits. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they just can't handle it. And the guys are the same way. Half the guys that are on seeking brother husband, when their wives are talking about they're going out on dates, these dudes look like they're about to break down crying. It's insane. And clearly they're not okay with it. And this is part of the thing for me, at least for me. And I'm not saying this is for everybody and this isn't a judgment call, but for me, if I'm in a relationship with somebody, if I presented this as a possibility, right? If I came home and I say, this is something I want to do. I want to try this. I want to go out with other people. You stay here and not go out with anybody and wait for me to get home. If I said that, which is ridiculous to me. If I do it, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. But okay, fine. I'm the only one that can do it. You got to stay home. If I'm with a woman and I care about her, even if she agrees to do it, I would understand that there is a possibility that the only reason why she's agreeing to do it is because I want to do it. She doesn't agree with it. She's going along with it because it's something I want. And if it's not something that's in her heart or something that she can handle, then don't I have a little bit of responsibility to make sure that she's okay? Because that's part of being in a relationship, just making sure the other person's okay. And these people are not okay with these situations. And that's where I kind of draw the line with how good of folks they actually are, how good a partner they are. Maybe you're a great person. Maybe, you could be out, working for the March of Dimes. You could be doing Make-A-Wish Foundation, rewards. You could be doing all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, are you a good partner? And for many of these people who are on this show, they're horrible partners. Because in most cases, they don't take into account the damage that they're bringing to their partner. They're destroying these people psychologically. Because you don't necessarily have to do something, and because they don't break down and cry and go crazy immediately, doesn't mean that it didn't take an effect. These guys getting you ready and watching you get dolled up, put on the best makeup, the outfits that you bought to turn them on, or outfits that they've never seen, or you're wearing makeup and you're putting on a perfume so that you can go out with somebody else and do things with somebody else, that's killing these guys. And you don't have to kill them by miles, but you can kill them by inches. They're dying inside by inches. And as they die, it's destroying your future relationship. Because once you tear them down, they won't be there for you when you get back. So as you need to grow in your relationship, they're so beat down and so broken that when you finally do make time to spend with them, they won't be a whole person to be able to continue the relationship. And that's part of the reason why I think that a lot of these shows, not even though they're bad examples of how polygamy works and how polyamory works, I think that they're great examples of how people will agree to things that they should never agree with, and how most people or a lot of people are not built for the types of relationships that they want to do. Everybody wants to be fun, but not everybody is crazy like this. Not everybody can participate. My name is James. This has been my take on reality, and I'm out.
'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCA.